Hello there, gamerinos and gamerinas. Welcome to UnicornStorm. This is Rady, and today I'm going to tell you whether or not Ghostwire might be worth your while. And I have to say, I really like the recent popularity of games set in Japan. I mean, it's not really a new thing. There already have been games like Shadow Tactics or Way of the Samurai in the past, and of course the long-running Yakuza series, but it seems to be more in the spotlight nowadays. One of my favorite games of last year and the year before was Ghost of Tsushima, an authentically depicted samurai fantasy, and I really do like the Japanese Edo period, but I also really like the modern Japan, with its bustling cities, crazy music and blinding lights. So getting to freely roam around the streets of Shibuya is just the thing for me. And couple that with Japanese folklore and ghost stories, and this should be one of my favorite games. So why isn't it? And before I continue, the game is fine, a lot of fun, it looks great, it has an eerie atmosphere, the ghosts are satisfyingly creepy, not scary, but unhinging. In this game you'll explore Shibuya after a kind of rapture. A mysterious fog made everyone disappear, and now evil spirits roam the streets while you try to find the man behind it all and save your sister as well as all the lost souls still trapped in Shibuya. As with every other Ubisoft game, there is a plethora of collectibles to find, countless little side missions plopping up all over the already cluttered world map. Cluttered because there's a million landmarks for you to fast travel to and... wait, this isn't Ubisoft? Oh, it's a Bethesda open world game. Well, same devil by another name. But to be fair, the game is pretty unique in a lot of aspects. For example, since the streets are full of hostile, undeadish creatures, you have to climb up buildings and glide from roof to roof. Just goofing around here. Of course, the game copied some popular aspects from the last few years in gaming, but it still has a strong identity of its own. First off, the game is pretty difficult. No, not like that one. But you have to play smart, keep on your toes, react fast and use your limited resources as best you can. To fight your creepy adversaries, you get to wield magical powers, talismans and, well, a bow. The last one aside, this game kinda tries to sell you on a mythical Japanese exorcist fantasy. You fight evil spirits with Buddhist-like finger symbols to unleash elemental projectiles as well as talismans, and you help restless souls to move on by solving their problems and, more often than not, defeat the malicious demons that haunt them. For your elemental attacks, you have a quick but weak wind projectile, a stronger but short-ranged water blade, and a deadly fire lance that can also be charged up to be an explosive ball, but has very limited ammunition. Your bow equates to a sniper rifle, and talismans are support items that can stun enemies or create a diversion. And while you level up through fighting and completing missions, you actually don't get stronger. You can upgrade your ammo capacity for all your different attacks and your charging speed, but your attacks never get any stronger. Well, you can equip up to 3 accessories to boost different stats, but for a very long time, your attacks remain at base level. That means, no matter how much you grind, difficult enemies remain difficult. And upgrading your ammo capacity for your main attacks isn't even done through the leveling system, but by finding Jizo statues all over Shibuya. There are a few different enemy types that themselves come in different subtypes. There are creepy men in suits holding umbrellas, who briskly march towards you and try to strike you, and get upgraded to fat men who use their umbrella as a shield, women with a knife in addition to an umbrella, or policemen armed with a baton. Then there are headless schoolgirls in white uniforms, and their stronger variant in a dark uniform, and even their male counterparts, who jump and flip around and attack with kicks and punches as well as throwable objects. There are women with massive scissors who can tank way too much damage, secretaries or maybe receptionists who attack with magic projectiles. There are little children in yellow raincoats who can summon reinforcements, There are flying hooded phantoms who shoot at you from afar, and bedsheets right out of a Halloween story who shoot at you as well, but tend to stay close to you and pack more of a punch. And I guess every one of those enemy types requires a different tactic to beat them. But I feel the combat system isn't deep or more flexible enough to warrant that. Most of your attacks are single shot and single target. You don't have that much ammo, your water arc attack is ridiculously short ranged to be of any real use other than being a tiny bit stronger than the much faster wind projectiles, for which you have 3 times the ammo. And while the fire attack is satisfyingly strong, since you can only carry a small amount of ammo for it and have to aim pretty precisely and have enemies that more or less aim dodge or shamble around, its charged up explosion is more useful. And well, it is, but you have to charge it up for a good amount of time, and enemies often attack in groups from all sides and throwing projectiles at you. And you're not invincible doing finishers and can't dodge. You can only block to decrease the HP loss from enemy attacks or parry at the right moment to sometimes stagger the enemy for a short time, but not long enough to charge up an attack. So you're mostly just stumbling around the battlefield, shooting wind projectiles like there's no tomorrow, and try to gain a bit of distance to charge up an explosion without getting interrupted. There's also a simple stealth and assassination mechanic, but they kinda ruined it by enemies instantly turning around and attacking you, sometimes even in mid-turn, when anyone in the vicinity spotted you. So if you're in position to quickly dispose of an enemy, but another one walks by, your chance for an assassination is instantly gone. The game should have gone for maybe tougher enemies that appear in smaller numbers, or have more fodder that dies in 1 or 2 hits in addition to 1 or 2 heavy hitters per fight. I do like the enemies and I do like the combat mechanics, but I don't think they really fit together as they are now. That said, the system mostly accomplishes its goal. You have different ways to dispose of enemies, are often able to replenish most of your ammo in between fights, can carry lots of food to heal yourself through an onslaught of enemy attacks, as you do in Bethesda RPGs, but are never so strong that you feel confident enough to take on a large group of enemies. Fighting is dangerous in this game, and you cannot avoid it. Shibuya itself is a beautiful place, the one in the game. The one in the real Tokyo as well, of course. You get to explore the busy streets around the Marokyu. Well, not so busy since everyone disappeared, but it's still an impressive sight, even with all the clothes lying around. You get to make your way through back alleys and past apartment buildings and iconic convenience stores full of detail-rich products. And of course you get to visit shrines and parks that are the perfect background to make the enemies even more eerie. But aside from enjoying the view, and I really do, there's just not that much to exploring Shibuya. Sure, you can collect nifty traditional Japanese knickknacks that are randomly strewn all over the place, or diary entries and audio logs to learn more about some people that lived here, I guess. There are these Jizo statues you need to increase your ammo capacity, randomly strewn all over the place. And then there's of course the innumerable amount of stray souls you have to collect. Sucking up those will take up most of your time roaming the streets of Shibuya. It's not broken or bad or anything. There are just so fucking many of those, and aside from money, they seem to be your only tangible reward for side quests or cleaning up pools of corruption. Yeah, there are those Shinto gates as well that you need to cleanse to open up another part of the city and that reward you with accessories to enhance your attacks, but those are more or less the same as Ubisoft's radio towers. It's kinda disappointing to see this beautiful city with all its accurate details, of which there are lots of, but aside from notes in newspapers and the like, all the collectibles don't really seem to belong in here. Treasures are just lying around in obscure places, souls are floating on the street, above dumpsters, even on rooftops, and even though you can hear their thoughts to give them some resemblance of a personality, it all appears random. Why aren't the souls of children on a playground or in toy shops? The souls of lovers in a park, the soul of some geezer sitting on a bench. Why isn't the Shibuya crossing full of stray souls when you can find a bunch of them in a rundown bathing house that, as you'll learn, hasn't seen many visitors lately? And while I'm already talking about out-of-place stuff, I don't really see what they wanted to accomplish with that style of UI. The game takes place in modern-day Tokyo, after a magic fog made all the people disappear and now ghosts, spirits and demons run through the streets, and you are some kind of priest who exorcises said apparitions with magic and talismans. Yet the UI looks like it belongs in some futuristic sci-fi game. In addition, the game is clearly designed around having a constant eye on the head-up display, since there is nothing in the game that organically feeds you information. The game doesn't lead you where you need to go, doesn't show, for example on your character, how much health or ammo you have left, what food you have equipped. And while you can choose what elements of the HUD to turn on or off, you can only turn them off completely or not at all. Which is really weak considering that many games fade out HUD elements when they aren't in use. I don't need to see my health outside of combat, but I should see it when I'm close to death. Same goes for my equipped weapons or ammunition. I don't expect an UI as seamlessly implemented as it has been in Ghost of Tsushima, both diegetically and non-diegetically. But this game didn't even try. The game world offers such beautiful vistas, but the ugly as hell and unfitting HUD is always there, staring me in the face, mocking me. What? Anyways. When it comes to open world RPGs, this game does provide a breath of fresh air. There's no power creep, no looter-shooter like item drops that force you to open your inventory like every 2 minutes, only a handful of simple mechanics you have to learn to survive the combat encounters, a great, eerie atmosphere, though on the other hand it comes with a good number of tired open world design elements and a lot of repetition. And I do mean a lot. It's a fun game and one that Japanophiles like myself should definitely check out. A game that offers a great time for a number of hours, but try to temper your expectations a bit. And with that, I bid you adieu. Have a great day, that's it from Rady, and I hope to see you again on the next game.